The reason why I like in this book here, Michael Dyson's book, it gives an extra aspect because it concentrates, instead of concentrating on the earlier part of his career with his March on Washington and famous I Have a Dream speech. They were saying, someone would say earlier, they was watered down and all of that, because that's the type of image of a black leader they wanted, someone that was not threatening, someone that didn't raise his voice and speak about issues that made them feel uncomfortable, right? So that book, it helped me. He started shifting his focus to the Vietnam War, and that's when things began to change for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Right? He was ousted out of the group that he helped start, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. You got Joseph McCartney, a prominent politician. He founded the Council of Un-American Activities Committee. They were flaming the fuse. Magazines like Newsweek and other world, they were villainizing Dr. King, like you said. And the sheeps or the people, they were really following suit with it. And, the parts where it is like now, he got a holiday, and I noticed, that people don't realize they fought to have a holiday for Dr. King maybe 3, 4 times, and it always got quailed over. It finally went over probably like 1990, 91. That's really, really, really new, considering the fact he got murdered in 1968, right? And he should be commemorated as a hero who contributed to the American experience and the American struggle, right? He was trying to make it where, people, if they look different or come from different places, they can still be friends. And they don't have to be enemies or hate each other because they look different or whatever like that. If you go back in Martin Luther King time, police would get mad. I'm sitting next to Teacher Jackie and she sitting next to me, right? We'd be criminals just doing this. Times has changed because of Dr. King. And, his holiday, they had a lot of politicians, they get on the news or they do these events and they act like they such sympathizers of Dr. King. And like you said earlier, a lot of these people was haters. If you go look at some of the stock footage, they was the main ones standing on that racial stuff and doing the racial policy, trying to exploit it now for their own political agenda, their own political plans. It's like if Dr. King is a black superhero, he got supervillains too that they fight. Right, and the bad guys, supervillains. Because they had the political power and clout to make it actually enforce what they wanted to do. Right. I want to read one little quote out of here.
Please.
I'm gonna try to read it out the book, but it says, "When we celebrate the King holiday, we do not simply celebrate the life of Martin Luther King. We celebrate individuals like Ella Baker, Fannie Lou Hamer, Bob Moses, and Charles Sherritt, Septima Clark, and Harry Moore, Emmett Till and Medgar Evers, Victoria Gray, Malcolm X, Roy Wilkins and Whitney Young, Angela Davis and Huey Newton, Mickey Schwerner and James Chaney, Andy Goodman and Bayard Rustin, Viola Liuzzo and James Reed, Addie Mae Collins and Carol Robinson, Denise McNair and Cynthia Wesley, Julian Bond and John Lewis, Andrew Young and Ralph Abernathy, Hosea Williams and Jesse Jackson, Diane Nash and James Bevel, Dorothy Cotton and Johnny Tillman, and legions of other souls who sought to bring justice and freedom to Southern Black doors and Northern project apartments. We celebrate King's willingness to surrender security and throw safety to the wind as he and many more across this nation in pursuit of peace and love. We celebrate King's insistence that, quote, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, end quote. And we extend his radical legacy to embrace citizens who are oppressed because of their sexual orientations or their gender. We celebrate King's ability to lay everything on the line, including his reputation to do what he deemed what was right in the eyes of God. It got a whole bunch of other things that's really relevant, to that. So that's my end quote to that. I really would recommend on your own time, really investigate the book and really read it. It's a lot of thought-provoking knowledge on it that really focuses on the last 3 years of his life. The last 3 years of his life, Martin Luther King relocated from the South, where the main thrust of the civil rights movement was, with Emmett Till, Rosa Parks, and so on and so forth. And he moved to the North. He moved to Chicago. He had to come across the problems in the North. He had to come across ghettos and ghetto slums with bad conditions, police brutality, and things he didn't encounter, except for the police brutality, he didn't encounter in the South. And with the compounding that was speaking on America's role in the Vietnam War and how millions of Americans were dying over political interest that didn't defend them, or asking Black people, or Negroes as they was called in this era, to fight for interests that they don't, and rights that they don't even have, they enjoy themselves in their own country, right? That's all part of the American Black experience. Uh, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he should be celebrated all year round. And Black History Month, which is coming up next month, you should really tune in to it.